Welcome in to the DNVR Rockies Podcast. I am Patrick Lyons.
I'm Susie Hunter. Patrick, look at Chuck Peterson, a person who did nothing yesterday.
Wow. He had like one hit, was very quiet, but not his hair. Look at that thumbnail.
No, his hair it was a presence yesterday.
He's an interesting cat, to say the least.
The most slappable face in all of Major League Baseball.
Oh, are you going to talk to Mike Moustakas about that today? Fellow fantasy league player. He was in that league.
You know what? I probably should. I also want to ask Mike Moustakas if he knows what the Breitich barrier is, a.k.a. Jeff's fence.
He did get robbed by Jeff's fence, as it's known to about 4 people in the press box yesterday.
The famous Breitich barrier.
A.k.a. Jeff's fence.
Jeff's fence.
That's it.
I said yesterday, the barrier be barriering.
I do like that.
Because a lot of home runs got robbed by that.
I do like
yesterday. That was kind of the theme of yesterday.
You got wrapped up in the loopiness of Jeff's fence, renaming the Breitich barrier. And you're like, we need a shirt. And I'm thinking, we need to like rename everything really bad names. And
you know what? I love it. I told you to text Eric and request a shirt so he could just hate it.
Jeff's fence. Well, we kicked around some names. I was like, what could we recall the Rocks pile that is like just a dumb name? And Kevin Henry from Fanside had said Sky Bleachers. And I'm like, that actually sounds badass.
Actually, like Sky Bleachers sound like really cool.
I'm like, that's going to legitimately be used in the next 15 to 20 years in a stadium. Like, oh, you got a $5 Sky Bleacher seats. Like, you're going to move a lot of Sky Bleacher units.
That's actually kind of obsessed with that.
I know.
Kevin Henry, marketing genius.
He got it. Yeah. I want to have worse names like Jeff's fence for the Breitich barrier. I don't want to improve upon Rock Spa with Sky Bleachers, but no, we love all the names. We don't love the numbers that came out of last night. Susie, we'll break down the game.
Oof.
We'll look at the National League West, some of the interesting stories around the division, have a little bit of fun, but there were some nasty numbers, and I wanted to know from you, what was the nastiest number? Was it 328, the time of game, longest of the season? Was it 11 walks by Rockies pitchers? Was it 9 for the 9th consecutive loss to the Giants? Or 1979, the first time in Giants history that a player did something? What to you was the nastiest numbers that stood out?
I mean, to me, in the moment, in that game, in the press box, It was the 328 because we've gotten so used to, games that are like around 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. 3.5 hours pretty much, and plus the game was just brutal for the Rockies side of things.
Yeah.
So it felt like a 5-hour game to me. So those were my least favorite numbers, but I love this game of numbers.
I think also that may have been the quickest game the Giants have ever played at Coors Field.
Actually,
just because the Giants come in and they dominate. So
they are terrible guests.
This was they're so bad.
Always overstaying their welcome.
Awful
people.
This was only the 4th time this year that the game was over 3 hours. And
for the Rockies.
Yes. Thank you. The previous longest was 314. So that's almost a full episode of I Think You Should Leave. Of the difference, right? 14-minute different. Yet? I think I'm 2 or 3 episodes.
I haven't watched any of it yet because I'll just watch the whole thing in one sitting.
It's good.
Can't do that during a homestand.
There's a couple wrestlers that act in this season.
Will I know them?
No,
I don't know.
No, you won't.
I can't name a wrestler.
You name 3: Hulk Hogan and Hulk Hogan's wife and his daughter Brooke Hogan, because they had a show on VH1.
Are they in it?
No, but those would be the wrestlers
Brooke Hogan making a comeback.
See if that counts as a wrestler that you know. No, so 4th time over 3 hours. Last year, they had 23 games that lasted 328 or longer. So our longest game for the Rockies this year, that happened 23 times last year. That's mad.
That's
crazy, right?
That is so crazy.
It did feel very long.
Yeah, we were sitting up there in the press box, just how long have we been here?
It was a long one.
I had friends texting me saying is this the longest Rockies game so far? And I'm like, it's going to be, yeah.
No, I had family and friends texting me, are you okay? Where are you? We haven't heard from you in a few hours. It was a very long game. Dinelson Lamet, it goes 83 pitches, 3 innings. And Lambert comes in, gets 5 outs. So he got 4 2/3 innings pitched from those guys.
No one looked good last night.
No one
looked good.
And Matt Carey said he was even warming up in the 9th. And it kind of had me worried. I don't know if you want to blow both through both of your long relievers. But that being said, if Caracetti only came in for
he's not
a couple
come
outs,
in for he's not going to come in for 60 pitches.
Yeah, no.
Probably in the 9th, but who knows at Coors Field.
Yeah, for sure. You got Siebold today, Chase Anderson tomorrow. Those guys have been consistent. They've been providing length. Definitely 5 innings every start for Chase Anderson. Siebold's going to be about 4 or more, so hopefully they can get through that. Bird was shaky in general.
Do you think Bird is experiencing some fatigue since he has been pitching so much this season? That is what I'm worried about.
What do they say? His arms are just tired from being here. What's the old hacky bit? I can't even get it out.
Oh, he just flew in and boy, are his arms tired?
He just flew in from Kansas City. Boy, is his arms tired.
Is that what
Jake
you were
Bird.
Making a Bird joke?
That's what I was trying to get to.
Got it.
Well, that was
I
was kind of the question, thrown out on Twitter. Basically, is this idea of do we have a pitching problem? Yes, the starting pitching has settled a little bit, and Dinelson Lamet, maybe you say, is your 6th starter because you can work Noah Davis back into the rotation. Okay, fine. But the bullpen now, after it having been used so much to work through those growing pains with the starting rotation, are all those additional innings starting to catch up with them? Daniel Bard looked shaky last night. Patrick Saunders asked him in the Bud Black in the post game, are you concerned after everything after everything Daniel Bard has been through? Are you worried a little bit about how wild and ineffective he's been? Bud Black said yes. He is a little bit worried. So you've got that issue going on. Suter's still been okay, but Bird, a little bit shaky here and there. Pierce Johnson has definitely been shaky as of late.
He's definitely been so much shakier than he was at the start of this season. I mean, I feel like the Rockies have been lucky. We have seen so many injuries with this team. We lost a full rotation of starters in a period of 3 weeks.
Right.
And the fact that the Rockies have actually had a great May is very lucky. The bullpen has been phenomenal. And now I think we're seeing some fatigue.
No, that's a great point, I think, about luck to a degree, right? Because we said at the beginning of the season,
or it's fortunate.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Not nitpicking the word usage. But we said at the beginning of the season, hey, the bullpen is going to be the backbone. If you have some kind of backbone to hold up your torso and your vertebrae, we're going off the rails on this metaphor here. Hold on, bring it back.
I'm going to trust the process.
And if you don't have a strong core, then you're just going to fall over all over the place. But the Rockies did have some backbone, and it was the bullpen. Now it's been taxed. Now it's been fatigued. And now what have you got? Somebody else or another core needs to step up, whether it's the starting pitchers or the offense. And we've seen it here and there, but they don't have any one area to rely upon in the way that they did with that bullpen. So, that's going to be a little bit problematic going forward if they can't figure that. Hopefully they can kind of course correct a little bit, at least with this homestand. I mean, they don't get a day off on Monday or Thursday, obviously, with the day game there.
Next week is kind of a crazy travel schedule.
10-game road trip.
It's a night game in Boston on the getaway day, and then they have to go right to Atlanta.
True.
That's not a short flight.
Yeah, so they won't have a day off until not next Thursday, but the one after that. So they've got to figure out some things and figure it out quickly. Giants, in the notes, it makes sense, but it is kind of mind-blowing. And I believe the 12 series that they've played since the start of 2021, right? Because they would play 3 times in San Francisco, 3 times in Colorado the last 2 years.
Yep.
Giants swept 6 of 12 series. That's mind-boggling to just straight up sweep half the times you just even get together. That's really wild.
That actually, that hurts.
Yeah.
That number hurts a lot.
It does.
That hurts more than the 328.
Well, the 1979 was Patrick Bailey, a 3-hit performance. He's done it 3 times in his first 15 MLB games. And that hadn't been done in Giants history since 1979. So Buster Posey retires. Joey Bart, doesn't really come together for him, but Patrick Bailey, really good catcher out of NC State from a couple years ago. He's kind of picked up the reins there as their catcher. 9 consecutive losses to the Giants. And then the 11 walks was the most that we've seen in a Rockies game in any capacity since 2010. Only the 20th time in Rockies history they've walked 11 or more guys.
Buddy did not seem happy.
No. 4 of those were in the 9th.
He hates walks.
No, he does. Don't BB. Don't BB.
Don't BB.
The license plate.
I'm still looking out for that license plate in the neighborhood.
We need to talk with a lawyer just in case, because we're talking about a license plate too much here. At the Susie Hunter on all social media.
Oh my gosh, Patrick.
Only the fourth occurrence since the year 2000 that they've walked 11 or more. 12 is the franchise record that happened 8 different times, all between 93 and 99. So kind of around the time they implemented the humidor, command, control, improved, and we haven't seen that much. So, yeah.
Look at you finding those stats.
I like interesting things like that. Of the 20 times that they've walked 11 or more, they're 2-18. So they actually have won 2 of those games where they just absolutely walked the ballpark. The last time was in 1999. They won 12-11 over Milwaukee, and it featured 3 home runs from Vinny Castilla and a save on the Rockies by current Mariners GM Jerry DiPoto.
No way.
So you can walk 12 guys. You just need 3 home runs from an all-time legendary Rockies player. That's all you got to do.
That's all you need. Well, we didn't get that last night, did we?
No, we didn't. 9 consecutive.
No home runs. So many extra base hits.
A lot of extra base hits. A lot of doubles.
The only home run I really wanted, I was like, if Jurickson Profar hits a home run, he would have hit for the cycle.
That's right. He was, I think that's the first time he's ever been just a homer shy of a cycle.
No one's ever just a homer shy.
Yeah, it's usually the triple is the hard one. You're right. He did go 4 for 5 with a double, triple, 2 RBI. You'll like this. The last time he logged 4 more hits was with the Padres last year in August against the Colorado Rockies.
Really?
So.
Oh my gosh.
This Jurickson Profar cat.
That's Jurickson Profar.
He's an interesting dude. We're interesting folks here on the corner of Colfax in York. Is the bar open right now officially?
The bar is open right now. Yeah.
I mean, I guess so. 116 on NBA final day.
Yeah. It's opening at 1 o'clock for game days, for Nuggets game days.
And if you've never been here and you're not a diehard, make sure you get yourself signed up. You get 15% off all your food and drink all day long, even at our takeovers and even at our watch parties that we have here at the bar. But if you've never been here, just look for the fence. We have a fence and a tent set up outside to corral all the people.
Thing. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, because also there's like stanchions outside too, because when it gets closer to game time, like there's actually like a line out the door.
Yeah.
So get here early.
It's good.
Come early, come often.
And it's nice too, because it's baby ball and it gets jumping, and so you're not packed in like a sardine, but you're like, oh man, this is an intense environment. Like if you're actually at the game, that's why people love coming down here to the corner of Colfax, New York. But with the fenced off area, you can go outside, get some fresh air. In between quarters at halftime.
Some
fresh
nice. Air or not so fresh air.
That's it. Depending
on what kind of air you're looking for.
Absolutely. We'll have plenty of fresh air on Saturday because June 10th, we've got ourselves a takeover.
Oh my gosh, it's so soon. I'm so excited about it.
Rockies, Padres, even less. We told you about it yesterday on the show. Even less tickets than yesterday. They're selling like the thing that sells really well in our country, and that is hotcakes.
Hotcakes.
It's well known that hotcakes sell. We should get in the hotcake business.
Should we?
Alyssa, do we know if we've made any inroads on a hotcakes podcast for the network?
No, but we can do that.
All right.
Alyssa's such a good sport.
It sounds like we are kind of working on that. But in the meantime, until we're selling hotcakes, we're selling tickets, free Breck brews on the bus, going from the bar to the ballpark, free shirt as well. Get your tickets for that. And you're going to be safe on the bus. But you know what? Not everybody is when they ride the bus, when they take public transportation, when they're doing the ride share, when they're in their car, when you're at work.
Where are you going
you could get injured.
Patrick?
You could get injured. But fear not. Well, Alyssa knows where this is going. She's so confident. She put the little flag up there. She knows.
Say the name.
That we're talking about none other than Backus and Shanker.
Backus and Shanker.
ColoradoLaw.net. They've been helping Colorado families for 25 years now, and they've been doing it with a lot of success. Here's the best part about them. They're going to work for you for free. They're going to consult with you for free. They're going to work on your case absolutely for free. They don't see a dime until you do. And you know how many dimes they've seen? Billions of dimes. In fact, maybe not exactly.
$1 billion.
100 million dimes they've seen.
More than $1 billion.
AKA $1 billion.
Yeah.
Well, I want to be exact with the dime, metaphor. But yeah, $1 billion. That's what they've won in their clients, the folks over at Backus and Shanker.
Backus and Shanker.
30 different lawyers, 100 folks on staff. They're going to hook you up. Pop in one of their neighborhood offices in Denver, Aurora, Inglewood, or Fort Collins, or you can give them a call. All Alexi Amaristas, all Troy Tulowitzkis, or maybe if you're in Albuquerque, all Aaron Shunks. It's 222-2222. 2.
Chunky monkey.
That's it. Just think of a baseball player and the number 2. We could say all Nolan Joneses because he's 22. We may have to. 222. Backus and Schenker.
Backus and Schenker.
A song about 22?
I'm feeling 22.
One lucky guess.
Do you not know that song?
Rebecca Black.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22.
Yeah, that's got to be the gal from Philadelphia, Dolly Parton. Volo Sport is the largest growing social sports company in the U.S. They are doing it in all kinds of neighborhoods in and around Denver, and they're doing it in all kinds of sports, from kickball, soccer, volleyball, cornhole, bocce, basketball, pickleball. I've still yet to play any pickleball.
They have a pickleball league?
Yeah.
Wait, that's so cool.
But you know what? Here's the thing, Susie. You're busy, obviously, during the season. You're busy during the off season, too. Mm-hmm. But the cool thing is they've got, like, these free drop-ins for Volo users, and they even have, like, little punch cards where, basically, you know what? You can just drop into some different things. It's like in college when you would audit a class just to kind of get a feel for it.
Yeah.
You can't fully commit, but you can drop in.
Oh, I can't commit to anything but the bit, so that's huge for me.
So Volo Sport, great for people with commitment issues. Volo Sport.
Volo Sport.
For people with commitment issues. Check them out. They are all over Rhino, Uptown, the Highlands, Sloan's Lake, Cherry Creek, Denver. Check it out, volosport.com. You okay over there?
No, it was not a burp. I didn't burp.
Ryan McMahon burped and went 2 for 5. That was, you know what? Not all the segues are going to be good.
They're not all winners, folks.
He burped at a 2 for 5 game. Nope. Missed it on that one.
No, that ain't it. Try it again. Start over. 3, 2, 1.
You know what? I can be gassy at times. You know who wasn't gassy yesterday? Ryan McMahon? No? We're just going to have to move on.
It's getting worse.
2 doubles. He's now 21 for 48 over his last 12 games. 8 of those games, multi-hit performances. Right now, he's locked into the spot where, depending on where you're betting, take the over on hits total.
I have to stop you because Mitch is walking around wearing a Nuggets Iverson jersey.
Wow.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
I love it.
That's
I
impressive.
don't have a Nuggets jersey, but when I do get a Nuggets jersey, it's an Iverson jersey.
You have Nuggets jewelry.
I do, yeah. I'm wearing a Nuggets bracelet.
That's it.
Here it is.
Zoom in on that. Oh, wait. We don't have that kind of technology. Do we have a drone? Can we get one of our drone shots to come in?
Screenshot it and then zoom in on your own time, people. But yeah, I have a little Nuggets bracelet because I'm supportive of my team.
That's it. Yeah. Jerkson Profar does not have a Nuggets jersey, but he does have, because we haven't talked about this, he has a custom Colorado basketball jersey.
Yeah, he does.
So the Padres
Where
last
did he get
year...
this?
It might be a company from the San Diego area. So if you remember last year, Padres were running around with like all really top quality bootleg gear.
I do
from
remember.
shorts to basketball jerseys. And I think that company sent Jerkson Profar just one, like not enough for the whole team. Mm-hmm. So he just has his own 29 Profar Rockies basketball jersey that's black with like a little hint of purple and gray.
It's really
looks
cool.
really great.
It's really cool.
It's really nice.
I haven't seen it since last homestand.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Nolan Jones can get one in his number 22 because he's playing really well. Now, his 7-game hit streak did get snapped last night where he's 0 for 4. He's still reached base safely in 8 of his 9 starts since making his debut, or his second debut. His official debut, like he got into the game debut on May 26th. Mm-hmm. So that was nice to see. Did get an RBI last night. So
we love an RBI.
That was pretty good. I do like that. We love our all-stars. There's been, we talked last week, Mike Petriello said Kyle Freeland will probably end up being the all-star. Maybe not necessarily because he's been the best. It's been Elias Diaz. That's what Jim Bowden thinks. He said Elias Diaz is going to be the all-star, not JT Realmuto. Realmuto will end up probably getting snubbed. So it could be a numbers game. I think it may end up being a numbers game. That's why I now think right now on June 7th, Brent Suter is going to be the Rockies' all-star.
You know what? That's actually not a bad prediction.
I think Diaz just could get squeezed out from catcher. Freeland, it doesn't have there's more wiggle room on the pitching side, but I still could see like, well, you know what? If we got to include one Rockies pitcher, let's lean towards Suter. Really good guy. So is Freeland, but I could see there maybe being more support for giving that spot to a reliever than a starter, because again, if there are starters out there that are in the Cy Young mix, more so than Kyle Freeland, it might be more egregious to snub that starting pitcher than a really good closer. That happens all the time. Where
you know what?
Solid closers get. I mean, Daniel Bard last year probably should have made the All-Star team, but you're like, you're only going to carry 4 relievers, 5 relievers. So there's going to be a lot of really good bullpen arms that get snubbed. So you know what? We'll give it to Suter. Some other guy will get snubbed. So Suter's the guy that I got right now on June 7th.
That
getting the Rockies
is
bid.
okay. I have not been thinking about it like this. This is kind of changing my my perspective. Yeah. Brent Suter would be such a fun addition to the All-Star. Has he been an All-Star before?
Never.
He's like such a funny guy. Like, he's hilarious.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about the whole aspect of him.
The whole aspect of him just like getting mic'd up, being a personality, like just
on the red
being
carpet
in the scene. Yeah, being on the red carpet.
He very well may wear the Lloyd Christmas Dumb and Dumber suit, like the full-on peach suit with the ruffles, the top hat, the cane. He would do it. He will do it, in fact.
He will.
All right, we will find out how the West was won. Why the West was won.
Why was the West won?
The NL West. Now, the Giants, I don't know if you heard this story. This was interesting. It was Jason Hayward, his brother, is in the Giants system. Younger brother, not older, younger brother, 27 years old. And he made his debut in the Arizona Complex League as a manager. As a manager, topped out at Sacramento, had some, contributed really well in Double-A, but he is now a manager with the Giants at 27 years old from the Arizona Complex League team. And I thought that was pretty interesting. According to Jason, quote, he's always been about preparing, about helping others, competing, getting everybody, pushing towards one goal. And I feel like the Giants, especially in the last few years, Gabe Kapler could be thanked for that. They've really been innovative, so I'm not too surprised. So Jacob Hayward. Rising star amongst managers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Go take Gabe Kapler's job.
There you go. No word on how many hand tattoos Jacob Hayward has.
Gabriel!
In sad news, Roger Craig did pass away.
Yeah.
Giants legendary manager. He was 93 years old. He actually started the last game for the Brooklyn Dodgers in Brooklyn and the first game for the New York Mets when National League Baseball came back to New York. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Legendary guy. He was one of 9 Brooklyn Dodgers who are still alive. Now there's only 8, Sandy Koufax being the most notable.
Oh my gosh.
Of the former Brooklyn Dodgers. They're from back in 1957. He won a World Series in 55, 59. Won one with the Cardinals as a player, and as well as a pitching coach in 1984 with the Detroit Tigers. And he was actually Bud Black's manager when he was with San Francisco there for a little bit of time. And actually before the game on Tuesday, Buddy talked about his manager in San Francisco, the great Roger Craig.
That one hit me a little bit, right? We've had, there's some great baseball men that passed away in the last few years. I was close to Roger. I played for Roger for 2 years, my first 2 years in San Francisco. Pitched against his pitching staffs when he was with the Tigers under Sparky. So I've known Roger a long time. And he and I had a great relationship my 2 years there. His last 2, my first 2, I stayed. Then Dusty came in. But him being a pitcher, me being a pitcher, it was immediate bond. I learned a lot from him. Not only on the pitching side, but on the leadership side. That I look back and some of the things that he did as a manager, I've tried to implement or embody what I do. We learn from everybody, right? I think that in any profession, any craft, you learn from those who came before you, or you learn from those who taught you. And Roger was one of those guys for me.
This is somebody you went back to when you started managing, got in touch with?
He would pop into San Diego. Because he was at times living in San Diego in the off season and year round. We spent a lot of time in Carolina. But he would come in and we'd talk. And he would send me texts as well. Because he, like all baseball men, he would watch games and he would make commentary. So my early years in San Diego, he was a frequent visitor and also a frequent texter, which was great.
Speaking of San Diego, we could have had a reunion this weekend of sorts. Dahl with the Padres. Dahl, Jose Iglesias, and Tapia. Could have. All right, your expression is on the money here.
Yeah.
David Dahl did get DFA'd on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's not going to happen. Jose Iglesias still in AAA El Paso doing his thing. So maybe we could see him. And Tapia is still on the roster for the Padres, but we're talking Domingo Tapia.
Different Tapia.
Different Tapia. Although the real Tapia was designated for assignment by Boston, which actually means we have 3 former Rockies in DFA limbo right now. Tapia, Dahl, and Chris Owings of the Pirates.
Why not bring him back, you know?
All 3.
Why the hell not? Like, what else are we doing?
The 2020 reunion tour.
That would be something.
That would be something
I
indeed.
was sad to hear about David Dahl. He
Yeah.
gave his heart and soul and his literal spleen to this organization. He deserves some respect.
He was really good in spring. I think he's kind of figured out a couple things. So this won't be the last time that we see him in the majors. He'll latch on. He might even stick around with the Padres as well, because Padres are just one of those teams right now, kind of similar to the Dodgers, where, you know what, you'd rather hang around in AAA and get regular playing time, have some fun, wait to get called up, maybe win a World Series. That's a decent option than regular playing time for a team that's just bad. Ethan Salas, not bad. 17-year-old phenom. He actually was 16 earlier last week when he went 2 for 3 in his Northwest League debut.
So young.
He homered last night in Fresno. His first home run, first professional home run, was actually in Fresno. So it'll be interesting to see if he will debut at or before 19 years old, like the great Hall of Fame catcher Pudge Rodriguez, who debuted at 19 as a catcher. That's almost impossible, but this Ethan Salas kid, man, he's special.
He could be the one that does it.
He absolutely could be.
Yeah.
He could be a trade chip too. I don't think the Padres would trade a generational player like that, but he's a guy that if they really are going to push for the World Series, they could use him. And I'm wondering if the Padres are perhaps America's team now?
No.
You can get their games on MLB.com. You can get their games on Fubo.
Actually, yeah, you can watch their games anywhere because their whole TV deal went to crap.
Went to crap. Yeah. So there's all kinds of
That's the
weird
whole thing.
packages where you could get, their entire season. It's a decent deal. MLB has taken over those games. So that's kind of interesting. They're not America's team, but America could certainly watch them more than anyone else. And you can watch all your favorite events live and in person with Game Time tickets.
Ooh!
Because look, when you use code DNVR, you're not only going to get $20 off your first purchase, but you're probably going to get your tickets anywhere up to about 60% off face value. And that's because Game Time allows you to buy your tickets closer to the start of the event than just about any other app. It's fantastic. I've used it for about a decade now. My first show at Red Rocks, I got in for $15 because, you know what, the weather turned a little bit bad. It was kind of rainy. And just their ticket brokers said, you know what? I guess as many people that we thought wanted to go to the show didn't. So let's just lower it. We'd rather have $15 in our pocket than nothing. And so you can take advantage of that kind of pricing that goes on with Game Time tickets. And especially when you use code DNVR, because you're going to get $20 off that first purchase. And you're going to get 15% off all non-presale items when you use promo code DNVR at foco.com.
Oh, I took the FOCO hat so I could wear it Memorial Day weekend, and it's still in my car. I wore it all weekend.
It was a smashing success, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Actually, so I have it sitting, it's like sitting on top of my passenger seat, like the headrest. Like the headrest is almost wearing it, like just because I put it there for safekeeping so it didn't like fall or get crushed or anything. And when I was pulling it to the Rockies parking lot yesterday, the guys at security were like, "Oh my gosh, what is this hat?"
They wanted one.
They were a fan.
So I need to know, did you do an ad read for FOCO on the spot? And B, did you tell them to use promo code DNVR to get 15% off all non-presale items?
I always tell people to use code DNVR for 10% off all non-presale items.
But did you say specifically to FOCO? Because I also go up to people and go, by the way, just use code DNVR and you might get a discount just for anything that they're doing in life. Because there's a good chance you probably will. And if not, at least it gets our name out there. You're kind of doing free publicity for us. So always use code DNVR. You never know what you're going to get.
But you know what? We do know what we're getting with FOCO.
Yeah, you're getting some quality bobbleheads, hats, you name it. They got slides, they got sandals for teams all around the country. Just about every college you could think of. So it's pretty cool. FOCO.com is the spot to go. Diamondbacks are not serious about winning and going to the postseason. Susie, did you know this?
Why do you think they're not serious about going to the postseason?
They're not. They're not. They're in.
Because they seem like they're doing pretty well. They're at the top of the NL West right now.
They are at the top. They're in the penthouse. Second best record in the National League. Fifth best record in all of baseball.
Damn.
But on October 11th, they're going to give their ballpark over to Guns N' Roses. So they're just like, yeah, we're not going to be in the postseason on October 11th. So GNR, have at it. Not serious, Susie. Not serious.
How could they? I mean, it's one thing if you're
How
the
could they?
Rockies and you're scheduling a concert. But, like, y'all are supposed to be going for it.
You know what I'm saying?
What are we doing?
You know, exactly. Guns N' Roses and all of their band members, such as, let's play, Susie, how many members of Guns N' Roses can you name?
I can't.
You don't know anybody in Guns N' Roses?
I can't name a single one.
Gun or Rose? You can't name a single Rose and or Gun? Alyssa? Sammy Hagar. Van Halen. That's he did take over for David Lee Roth. Let us know in the chat. Do you know any members of Guns N' Roses?
I'm sorry. I can name some of Taylor Swift's backup dancers for you, but like
Okay.
I don't know.
Or in the chat, let us know if it's okay to not know members of Guns N' Roses.
I think it's okay. I think it's more than okay.
There are two names that you'll know and you'll go, yeah, I maybe should have known that. Slash. You know Slash.
Okay, yeah.
And
Does
Axl.
he wear a hat?
He does.
Oh, okay.
He's famous for wearing a hat.
He wears a hat.
I'm not famous for wearing a hat, but I also wear a hat. So,
No, but it's different.
but I'm not in Guns N' Roses. And Axl Rose. You go, oh, I know that name.
I do know that name. Oh, so that's the Rose. Is that his real name?
I guess so. His last name is Rose. I did look this up last night.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, what's his real name? It's like Bobby Rose Jr. But yeah, Duff McKagan. No, you don't know. That's okay. Steven Adler, drummer. Although he was on Celebrity Rehab, so that ties in.
Dudes are in this band?
Izzy Stradlin. These are good rock and roll names.
These are names I've never
80s
heard.
rock
I
names.
wasn't alive.
I know
Toilet-
some of their songs. Is
Such
that
as
any credit?
okay.
I don't think-
Child of Mine.
Oh, Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh, okay.
Not
Paradise City.
not Sheryl Crow's. Not Sheryl Crow. She did
Okay.
cover that.
Good for her.
Paradise City, yes.
That might
Okay,
be
we
it.
got two.
Alyssa's really good at this game.
November Rain. There's going to be other ones where if you hear it, take a deep dive into Spotify. It's enjoyable. Torey Lovello was signed to an extension through 2024, so now he might stick around as long as Bud Black. They both came in the same year in 2017, and I think it was last Monday when I had Derek on.
Yeah.
I realized that since the start of 2017, like before last Monday's game, they both had the exact same amount of wins for their respective team.
Really?
It's kind of wild. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
That was neat. Dodgers, why are they going to win the West? Because they've got another stud, Bobby Miller, 3 starts. He's been fantastic.
They just like keep finding talent out of nowhere.
That's it. 1.06 ERA. And Dodger Stadium broken by Aaron Judge. Just running down the wall,
That
busting
was
fences.
crazy. And he's like hurt still.
Look, here's what. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he hurt his toe.
He's still hurt.
They're adding some more padding because of it. I'm kind of curious
He
now.
like went through that gate.
How fortuitous is it now that on today's show, we now need to speculate when the Yankees come to town next July, will Aaron Judge knock down Jeff's fence? Will
when you
he
say
do it?
next July, do you mean this coming July?
Yes.
Next month?
Next month.
You meant next month.
This
not
July,
next July.
next month, next July? No. Yes.
No, that's-
Will he? Will he run through Jeff's fence?
You know what? He's tall enough to
To run through Jeff's fence?
run through Jeff's fence.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
That'll
All
be a
right.
fun series.
That will be fun.
Same weekend as Taylor Swift.
That will be fun. Same weekend as my aunt's 75th surprise birthday party.
I really hope
Equally
she
as
is
fun.
not watching.
I'm gonna see if I can get Taylor Swift to like just do a pop-in set before so she can warm up.
busy.
she's got to do vocal exercises. Why not do it down in Colorado Springs with me and my entire family? And why not get a pair of Shady Rays, especially?
Oh, did you? Oh my gosh.
I got my Shady Rays here.
This guy.
I don't know if I'm styling. I'm profiling.
Where did I put my Shady Rays? I wore them in. I wore them into the building.
Here's the thing. With Shady Rays,
Damn it.
you're definitely going to be styling. What's the difference between styling and profiling? Can you explain the difference? I've never known.
What? They go hand in hand, that's for sure.
They just give you a sleek profile. Like, they just make your face look good. They block out the sun. They're polarized. So they're fantastic in that way. Obviously, you're going to buy one, get one free when you use code DNVR over at Shady Rays. You can actually get 50% off if you go in person to the Park Meadows Mall and you buy 2 or more pairs. That's really a fantastic deal. Again, you're going to like how you look, and if you don't within 30 days, you can get a full refund. If you happen to lose or break your glasses, fear not, because Susie is living proof that they will hook you up with a free pair.
Redemption is real, and it's happened for me.
It
folks.
is real.
It's real.
All right, let's keep some score. No, wait, what's the name of our game?
It's called Batting Around.
Batting Around. I like keep some score. No, it doesn't really have the pizzazz.
No, it does not have that. But keep the pizzazz to me, okay, Patrick?
The Giants, and we're doing, because the Giants sent 9 guys to the plate in the 5th inning yesterday. So
they did.
That's why. So again,
that's why. So when
this is timely.
When guys bat around, we bat around too.
We play bat around.
There's a reason behind my madness.
Batting
Some might
around.
say I'm a mastermind.
AKA, this game is also called 9 guys hitting.
It's called 9 guys hitting.
Right Itch Barrier, a.k.a. Jeff's Fence. Batting Around, a.k.a. 9 guys hitting.
The cheap knockoff. You branch off and make your own podcast someday so you don't get sued, you'll call your segment 9 guys hitting.
PDL Lions. Those are my initials. Or PDL Rockies. See, I'm not good at my own branding.
You're terrible.
I can't branch
at
off. You need to branch off and do it, not me.
All right, let's do some batting around. Patrick, Jacob deGrom, when talking about how he needs Tommy John surgery again, was so tearful yesterday in that press conference. He did not hold back that emotion. But yeah, once again, Jacob deGrom getting Tommy John surgery. Big blow. Big blow to him. Big blow for baseball.
Yeah.
Of course, for the Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I give that a stand-up double, because when I saw that, obviously my heart went out, to him in that moment. But it was very real. And again, I think we are coming onto this new age where players like Austin Meadows and Daniel Bard of the Rockies are stepping forward and saying, hey, I've got anxiety. Hey, I'm emotional. Hey, I have feelings too. I can't just be a man for man's sake. Grin and bear it, rub some dirt in those wounds. But being real and being open and honest. And so I think that was a positive moment for him. This could mean that's the end of his career. We saw Mike Schmidt do it, talking about the end of his career when the knees just couldn't go. But I think this was kind of another point, another step forward in saying, hey, men can be real and open and honest about how they feel and about disappointment and sadness, and in moments like this.
Patrick, that was beautifully said.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know. Yeah, no, that was a really emotional. I was emotional watching him be emotional.
Yeah, hope he can come back.
I think he can come back.
It's rough.
I think he can.
It's a rough road. Verlander. Those guys they're a community. They help each other out. Doesn't matter what team you're on. They're going to say, hey, here's what I went through. Here's what you need to do. There's plenty of guys. There's at least probably 10 to 15 guys in DeGrom's phone that has had Tommy John surgery that got through it, that I'm sure he can call out to and lean upon.
Yeah. All right. Next guy up. We got a guy on second right now. Next guy up, though. The Blue Jays have optioned Alek Manoah, their opening day starter, to the Florida Complex League. And that was a day after he gave up 6 runs and recorded 1 out.
I forgot he was the opening day starter. That makes it all the more weirder.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, when John Gray got optioned in 2018, was he the opening day starter that year? He might have been. And then Kyle Freeland in 2019, he got optioned. He might have been the opening day starter that year as well. I'm not sure exactly, but
we got to look at some numbers now.
Yeah,
I didn't even think of that.
I think he could have gone to AAA Buffalo, but I think it was more about just kind of getting away, taking a break. we just want you off the roster to kind of reacclimate. You know, I did see a lot of speculation that this is kind of the Roy Halladay treatment for when he had some of his issues, and just go down to Dunedin, you know, relax, play in the Florida Complex League there. Get some sun. You know, you've
out
got
of the wildfire smoke.
You've got all the next best group of trainers and coaches there. So I think that'll be a good spot. And I don't have any doubt that, like John Gray, like Roy Halladay, like Kyle Freeland, he'll be able to bounce back and he'll be fine.
How are we scoring this one, Patrick?
Base hit.
Okay.
They made the hard decision, but you had to do that. The runner does not advance, though. Or the runner does not score.
Does not. Okay, but
Runners on the corners.
runner advanced to third?
Yes. This is very specific. We're keeping score here. So we've got to know what's happening. No runs have scored.
No runs have scored. But no outs, 2 men on. Men on the corners. All right, next guy up. Ellie De La Cruz, the Reds' electric infield prospect, getting called up.
And he did a couple things yesterday too, didn't he?
I think so.
I mean, he's exciting. You know,
he's exciting. He's an exciting. Let me tell you what he did.
Kirk Herbstreit is nonplussed about this. Did you know all the whole Kirk Herbstreit stuff?
No.
So Ken Rosenthal wrote a story basically saying, like, you know what? Matt McClain, who we saw make his debut, he's been playing really well. He's a shortstop, probably better fit for second base. But Jonathan India, their 2021 Rookie of the Year, is there, one of the leaders of the team. And you got Ellie De La Cruz, who is a shortstop. Okay, if McClain goes over to second, what about Jonathan India? So Jonathan India has been asked questions about, you know, do you think you might have to move positions? You know, what's the situation? And Kirk Herbstreit, who's a Reds fan, is like, oh, man, you guys are just trying to get clicks, you know, talking about moving one of the best players on the team, the leader. He shouldn't have to deal with this. But the bottom line is McClain at second and Ellie De La Cruz at shortstop are better options. And so those are fair questions. And he kind of was critical of C. Trent Rosecrans, who's been covering the Reds for a very long time. Had never heard of C. Trent Rosecrans. Like, this guy's been the top Reds reporter for a decade, and you don't know him. So being a fan got the best of Mr. Kirk Herbstreit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
by
that
the way,
saga.
Ellie De La Cruz, third inning, he crushed a double. And I think he got a ball in play later on in the game too. But yeah, nice little debut for him yesterday.
They probably should have done it a little bit sooner, but I'm gonna give a double to Ellie De La Cruz on that one.
A double for his double.
And the runner on first does score. Yes,
Okay.
so that's a 2-run double. For sure. Yeah, no, Ellie De La Cruz is definitely one of those exciting guys that, you know, maybe he could have started in the bigs. He just tore up AAA, tore up the entire International League with the Louisville Bats. And it's his time now with Cincinnati.
I love that. All right, we still got 2 men on.
Okay.
Next up, the Marlins, Luis Ariz, kind of on the verge of history. So he raised his batting average to 401. So if he can keep that up all season, he now has the challenge of maintaining this to do this for the first time since Ted Williams in 1941.
Yeah, when you were talking, I'm like, oh, yeah, who was the last guy to hit 400? Like, we've more recently had triple crowns, obviously Miguel Cabrera, but even before that, more recently. And I was like, oh, yeah, we, you know, in this generation, we only know about the guys who came close. We're like, oh, Rod Carew, he was always up there. Todd Helton even had a stint where he was chasing it in August. When maybe the pressure kind of got the best of him. George Brett was chasing it. Tony Gwynn in 94 before the players' strike. So it's kind of similar to the Triple Crown in horse racing, where it was like, my entire life, no horse had ever won the Triple Crown. And then, you know, we had 2 in a row really quickly. But I hope he does it. I hope he gets there to 400. Yeah. I feel like, you know, we've gone away from high batting averages because it's really about just getting on base. So now guys are taking walks and are maybe not taking advantages of an opportunity to get a hit because you get into a double play or make an out. I'd rather just walk. But Luis Ariz, man, he puts bat to ball. So I hope we do see that, and that's great that he's doing it now. And doing it for the Marlins, too. It's nice when teams that aren't the Yankees, Dodgers, Cubs, like, have those marquee names to say, hey, there are more than just 5 teams in MLB. Keep your eye on...
Sometimes we forget.
Yeah, keep your eye on that. The Marlins and Ted Williams are now in the same sentence, and it's not, oh, Miami is where... Ted Williams' frozen skull is being, you know, kept in a freezer. Was that a thing? Do we know? That would have been in Tampa. Did you know this?
No.
His son. All right, that's a story for another day
Oh
with Ted
boy,
Williams.
I'm stressed. Okay,
But,
how are we scoring this one,
That's a
Patrick?
base hit. I do like that one.
All right.
I do
Did
like
anyone
that one.
score? Because we
yes,
have a
the
runner on
runner
third.
scores from second.
Okay. So it's 2-0, no outs.
We got 3 runs.
And then we've got men on first and third again.
Yes.
All right. Just trying to keep track of the game. Okay. Next up at bat, Marcell Ozuna of the Braves.
Uh-oh.
He was benched after not running after a deep fly ball. Ended up being a single.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, took him out of the game for that.
Yeah, that was in Arizona over the weekend, and I think it was like a homer in at least 20 ballparks. And it was probably a double for 99% of players, but not for Marcell Ozuna because he just lollygagged it down the line. It was not a good look.
Not a good look.
That is a 3-strike strikeout right there because
Oh.
that's shame on him. Shame on him. He's a veteran guy, man. He should be better than that right now with Atlanta. Poor Sam Hilliard's just sitting on their bench waiting for an opportunity to play.
Sam Hilliard would love to run that down.
He would love to hustle like that.
Would love to.
He would.
Justice for Sam Hilliard.
He hasn't played in like a couple days. We were talking about him in the press box
Oh.
yesterday, and it was like, is he in AAA? I was like, no, he's just not even playing, which is kind of disappointing to see. But he's
But
ready.
you know what?
He's ready.
I mean, it was nice that the Braves included him in the ALS.
Oh yeah,
Not celebration, recognition.
Supporting it.
They were very
Absolutely.
supportive. He was on the field, for that. His family was there. It was really sweet.
that's awesome.
So I'm glad that they are also, his new team also cares about where he's been.
He's a good person, family of good
he's
people.
such a good person. Sam Hilliard.
We miss Sammy.
Hopefully we get to see him play against the Rockies next week when they're on the road in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I
think
mean,
so.
you gotta throw him in the lineup at least once, right?
Yeah, for
Come
sure.
on.
He's due for at least one homer next week.
All right, so this happened yesterday. Next up at bat, Angels manager Phil Nevin was ejected after yelling at the home plate umpire.
I didn't see this.
Yeah. There's a whole John Boy breakdown of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there's not as much yelling at umpires. Like that's the one thing
Yelling.
that's been,
Yeah.
taken away with the with the rules that are in place.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really talk about balls and strikes. But still, I'm always down for this. Anytime you do that, you need to inject some life in your team. That's always good. That's a single. You got to do it. I was thinking Buddy might.
You said it's a single?
I'm gonna give him a base hit on that
You're
one.
gonna give him a base hit. All right. So did the runner scored from third?
Absolutely.
All right. So it's 3-0. We got 3 runs.
Buddy was thinking about it yesterday. He did have a moment during the walks where he took his hat off, put it on, and did the sideways. You ever see him do that a little bit where it goes just
No.
slightly askew? It's when he's not happy. Yes.
I've
There's a
never
couple memes
noticed
out
this
there.
before.
He'll fix his hair, he'll put his hat down, and then just kick it to the side ever so slightly. Ever so slightly. He's not happy. He's nonplussed. It's the second time I'm using it today. He's nonplussed.
Interesting. All right. Next up at bat, the New York Yankees.
It's a team.
They are a team. They have been playing in the Canadian wildfire smoke, but the smoke I know we were dealing with a lot of the smoke last homestand.
That's right.
It is looking really scary in New York, but now MLB is monitoring the smoke situation because even the mayor of New York is just like, people should not be outside in this.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't ever remember that ever happening on the East Coast, and I know that happens here a decent amount of time.
Happened. I know Seattle had an issue with this.
Right.
San Francisco's had an issue
Right.
with this, and they still played in that. But now that it's happening in New York, all of a sudden MLB is really paying attention to it.
The visuals seem a little bit more extreme in New York, though. Like when we had it last year, and it was like the air quality was not good. It was just the air quality. Yeah, you couldn't see long distances, you couldn't see the mountains, but it wasn't like, if you're sitting in the ballpark, you didn't notice it. You can notice this in New York. So, maybe a little bit of a double standard. I think that's also a strikeout. Pitcher's heating up here.
Ooh,
That's 2 outs.
Strikeout.
We're
2 outs. We still got men on first
Finding
and
the
third.
groove. It's like Daniel Bard last night. He might have walked 4 guys and walked in a run, but he did strike out the side. He did
Yeah.
strike out all 3. Is Daniel Bard pitching this game of batting around? He might be.
He might. I love a good deep cut. Okay, we're gonna bring it a little closer to home. Next up,
Ooh.
Kyle Freeland.
Yeah.
Kyle Freeland made it to the Nuggets game on Sunday at halftime.
I almost said something to him yesterday.
I asked him about it yesterday.
And I
yeah,
didn't. He made it.
He made it. Yes.
Wow.
He seemed a little disappointed that it wasn't a better game for him, especially because that's probably the only game. I think that's the only game he would have the opportunity to catch even part of.
Yeah, because we were talking about that. So here's the thing. He went to the Stanley Cup last year in Tampa. I think they won. I don't know. You know what? I don't know if they won that game. I don't think they won
the game he went to.
Oh,
they did
right.
not win the game that he went to.
Okay, so actually that's a good omen.
But they won. They won the. We'll
but
tell
they won
him
the Stanley Cup.
We'll tell him this today.
We now need to know. We need to know that because that's either the reason why the Nuggets are going to win the NBA Finals or lose it. Kyle Freeland's attendance. We got to figure that out. Knock that wood.
That is wood.
New segment coming up next week. Knock that wood.
Knock that wood.
Where we say crazy things and we go, I hope that doesn't come true. Knock that wood.
Actually, maybe one day when I'm
segment.
like, hurting for content, maybe I will do that.
Knock wood? Not knock wood. You're like,
No.
you know what? I'm not going to knock wood on that. I'm going to let the baseball gods take that in their hands and whatever
God
they decide.
handle it.
I think so.
How are we scoring that one?
Knock that wood. He was able to get there.
He got there at halftime.
I'm glad. It's a base hit.
Okay.
That's a single.
Did
not a lot of power. There's a power outage here in this.
All right, so the bases are loaded right now.
I think so. This is huge with 2 outs. This is a pivotal moment here.
2 outs. All right. Here's another one from close to home. Talked to Ryan Feltner yesterday. Saw him real fast in the clubhouse.
Good to see Felty.
He said he is feeling pretty normal, and he looked a lot more stable than he did last time we saw him.
That's great.
Yeah.
No, that's great to see him around. The guys are excited to see him, have him back. I don't know if he's officially going to be part of the One-Armed Bandits because he does have both arms.
He has both arms.
He can be an honorable member.
He is in a class all of his own.
He absolutely is.
Because he's lucky to be alive.
I mean, yeah, we really don't know the severity of it, and the Rockies aren't going to give us, the lowdown of all
but I mean,
of it.
like anytime you have a skull fracture, I mean, you're inches away from something much worse happening.
No, true. There's like life and death. Okay, well, he could have died. And then is he going to live his life as a ball player? We don't know. It's a different spin on life and death, if you think about it.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Well,
could have died. And now is he going to be able to continue to live as a ball player? No, that's true. Like that's what I mean when I say the Rockies aren't going to necessarily let us know. But you know what? You're right, because it could have been so much worse. Glad to see him around. Glad to see him up and about. That would be a grand slam right there.
A grand freaking slam. Slam.
It was just such a sad moment just to see him down and not know the severity of it. And you go, all right, well, he's not bleeding, but still being in the hospital and then being in there a little bit longer than was originally anticipated. The Rockies went out on the road, so the updates were like just less frequent. And you wonder, like, not that is anything being hidden, but you just, hey, maybe we can just postpone this information from getting out because it could be really bad. Thankfully, the information hasn't been that awful. He's okay.
Yeah.
He's okay. Which we like to see that.
Hey, that was 9 batters.
Woo. It happened.
And hey, we got tacos.
Yes! That's the highest scoring.
Tacos.
That's the highest scoring batting around, aka 9 guys getting a chance to hit segment we've ever had. What a segment.
That was good. You did a great job. Great scoring, Patrick.
We'll have more of that today. Logan Webb on the hill for the Gigantes. Connor Siebold for the Rockies.
Connor Siebold was really frustrated after his last start and wants to get another pitch in his mix.
He's going to bounce back.
Yeah, I think so. But I hated seeing how frustrated he was. Hi, can we tone down the party for 2 seconds?
And I like that Siebold is going against another team's ace and a guy who, is making a case to be just a true ace in general. So that's going to be a good matchup tonight. We're going to have it covered every single pitch on Twitter at DNVR_Rockies. Also at Patrick D. Lyons on Twitter.
And you can find me at the Susie Hunter on most platforms,
including Zillow. But you can't actually buy a house for anybody. But you can see some of the places that you've liked, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Where you live your dream houses
on
Zillow at the Susie Hunter. Check that out. And also make sure you check us out tomorrow, because despite all the momentum we built today, there is a saying, that
What
the
is
world
saying?
has
What is the saying?
about baseball podcasts, and it's that you're only as good as your next show. So, of course, we'll be back here tomorrow, post game on Thursday on the DNVR Sports Channel, live on YouTube.